Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Fatamorga. Playing on Northern side as the Thousand Suns, we have got Mr. Blue Dude. And playing on Southern side as the Chaos Space Marines, we have got Dantist. Dantist will be opening with 5 Cultists, a Heretic, a Plasma Generator, and a Chaos Armory. Whereas Mr. Blue Dude is opening with triple Zinch Cultists, a Exalted Sorcerer, a Warp Gate, and a Rune Scribe Construct. Here we are, this is a new game and indeed a new patch for those astute of you who are following the news on the Unification Discord. Of course, links to that Discord in the description below should you require any additional info, or if you're trying to install the game for the first time, there's always good pieces of information on there. But yeah, so new patch. What's changed about these factions? Not much really, thankfully. This game has been sent in, and both factions here haven't really changed that much. Not too crazy things to discuss. We do know that the Frau Wizards, they tend to capture things a little bit slower in comparison to how they used to. So maybe that's explaining why Mr. Blue Dude has gone for a couple more Zinch Cultists than would be normal. Also seeing that the Sorcerer Lord is now called the Exalted Sorcerer. Not much changing with him. I do have the patch notes on my second monitor, because I'm fancy now, up with me at the moment, and there's a couple of changes to like the warp spawn, damage to buildings. There's a little bit of change to the the conjured demonic entity. Does a little bit more damage and has more ranged and such, so should be more useful. But in the grand scheme of things, not much has changed. From the Chaos Space Marines perspective, the big thing is that now their Demon Princes have got a ranged weapon. So that's pretty cool, pretty neat. And any other useful changes I shall mention as the game goes on. But these cultists, for the traditional, original Chaos Space Marines, absolutely wiping the floor. The Zinchian cultists, Exalted Sorcerer going to go for a demonic summoning. And the cultists are going to be shaked away. They do have their grenade launchers. Crazy amount of cultists for Dantist in the opening. I imagine he's probably quite keen to get some aggression and some map control. Also, you can never really tell when you're up against the Thousand Suns. Are they going to go for a demon opening? Are they going to go for the regular heavy infantry opening? And a massive cultist with grenades kind of it doesn't necessarily counter both of them. But if you've got plenty of squiggly demons coming for you, they could tie up one squad in melee. They can't tie up about 5 of them, can they? Now got a heavy mortar turret being placed right up and aggressive near the relic, going to deny the relic for Mr. Blue Dude. Lesser Zinch spawn, attempting to keep on top of the cultists, already down to low health at the moment. In the early game, it's a little bit of a harassing kind of unit. Always good for tanking the damage from turrets and such. But the survivability of it, not that great. Exalted Lord, that's going to take a while to get used to saying. Will finish off this turret before then turning his attention to the cultists. Over here we do have some Rubric Marines scaring away these lads. We do have some grenade launchers, but the survivability of the Rubric Marines is not something that they really want to tussle with. Bit of a you shall not pass, not knocking anyone over there. Cultists attempting to get a little bit of distance between themselves, just so they can fandangle him with some ranged weapon. And actually, even more cultists from Dantist. Not a single Traitor Astartes in sight. It is just regular men, regular weapons. Sorcerer Lord is now down to half health. The Rubric Marines are coming over. Going to go for the all-important Aspiring Sorcerer to increase their accuracy and such. And the Sorcerer Lord in a bit of a bind at the moment. It looks like he will be going down to the focused fire of the cultists. What are they trying to achieve here? I assume it's just to keep these guys away as everyone else is just getting their... I mean, yeah, we've got all the Silver Spires on the go. Also now that Dark Library in addition. Sorcerer Lord has managed to keep himself alive by hiding inside the squad of Rubric Marines. Will then detach himself and I assume run back home. That's quite a fast running animation for someone moving so slow. But he is out and about. Rubric Marines are going to hide inside the light cover. So the cultists struggling even more to do some damage to those guys. And a second squad of Rubik Marines. So while lovely for, you know, map control and keeping the guys at bay, it's not exactly going to keep them at bay for very long. What's your plan? You're going into Tier 2. Would it be a Vindicator? Massive heavy infantry, slow moving at that. That might be the plan. After all, you've got no Chaos Temple, so there's no heavy infantry coming from you guys, so vehicles would be the natural way forward. That being said, the Thousand Sons have remarkably good anti-vehicle weaponry in the form of their pink horrors. I think as well one of these, either Warp Bolt or Inferno Bolt, can never quite remember which one. One of those do light vehicle armor damage. So there's always an option. Cultists falling down thick and fast. Sorcerer Lord... Sorry, not Sorcerer Lord, Exalted Lord. Not sure why they changed his name, but... he's there now, and he's got back to yellow health. Got a red Lessersint spawn, which is fun. Different colours every time. It's like summoning a Skittle demon. You taste the rainbow, or at least feel the rainbow when he gets you in the gut with his long stabby bits. Little Heretic there dies as the cultists attempt to fend off what is a unsaleable Thousand Sons assault. Yeah, it seems like these guys are doing no damage with their grenade launchers, or at least a negligible amount. Listing Post will go down. Current economy is 86 and 12 compared to 92 and 30. So even with a Listing Post down, Chaos Space Marines do have the economic advantage still. I'm now going to go for a Chaos Sorcerer, giving them a bit of a taste of their own medicine. Also plasma pistols as well, just to help them with the heavy infantry armour. Plasma generator goes down, so no actual vehicles from these guys. They are going to put it all on the line with this one Sorcerer man. Gives them some foul magics. Does take out 1,000 Sun model, but I just don't know. I mean, if you're going to go magic to magic, as Uncle from the Jackie Chan animated series would say, magic must defeat magic. But when you've got small magic against big magic, I don't know. He's brave, he's bold, he's brash, he's going to do it. He's going to give it a bash. You can't really blame him. Listing Post being upgraded, some more damagey bits. Zinch cultists doing some stealthy nonsense. And the Rubik Marines repositioning themselves up near the cultists. Will kill them all good and proper. So that is very small army left for Dantist. One squad of cultists. The Chaos Sorcerer is now going to get his machine pit on the go, but not much green money saved up. I don't think the Chaos Sorcerer was the right choice for this combat. Are we seeing a tier 2 from you? Yes, you have finished your tier 2. And you are going to go for a Occult Forge. So matching the vibes. Vehicles from both sides, potentially. Zinch cultists using their stealthy stealth. But they can be spotted by this Sorcerer Lord. Chaos... Good Lord, right? This is so annoying. Whatever you call things. Is a blue Lesser Zinch spawn now. A rainbow coalition of demons sprouting forth. Cultists attempted to go round the backside of the Listing Post, but doesn't seem they will be able to fend them off for much longer. Now we've got a Hell Talent, which is not a terrible choice. I mean, it's not designed to kill infantry en masse, but it is in the air, so it can be repositioned relatively quickly, won't suffer from pathing too much, so if he needs to pull it back and repair it, that is a thing that he can do. Now I've got a Defiler on the way as well. You see, I thought it would have been a Defiler. That would have made more sense in my brain. Vehicle cap increases, more plasma generators. It's just cultists and vehicles at the moment. Hellton going into the base of the Thousand Sons. From the Occult Forge comes a Mighty Rhino. And that's about it for the moment. Vehicle cap increase as well, so planning to get some more bits and bobs. It's a bit of a base trade at the moment. Defiler comes out. And I assume close combat. No, heaven forbid. Yeah, the warp bolt ammunition cracking through the Defiler's armor. He's trading his flamer for a heavy bolter. Sitting on the back lines, but everything's just been run amok at the moment. They've got the Zinch cultists inside the base. The heavy bolter, though, will be taking care of them remarkably quickly. Breaks him down lickety-split. Comes another Chaos Sorcerer. Will teleport near the listening post as the Defiler runs in fear from all this nonsense. Now caught between a lot of firepower. Heavy bolter turret, 2 listening posts, a Defiler, and also a Chaos Sorcerer with a plasma pistol. Is actually, of all the places to unload your Rhino, that was probably the worst place to unload him. And the Chaos Rhino might indeed go down. It does. What was quite a powerful Thousand Suns army has now been reduced to but a mere fraction of what they were. Hell Talon has been brought down to low health due to a Hell Blade, but hiding around the missile launcher turret now. Yeah, that was a... I mean, in theory, on paper, that was a undefensible position. Dantes would have probably lost then, but you could just never really tell what's going to happen in a game of Dawn of War. Bit too much confidence from Mr. Blue Dude. Hell Talon designed to kill vehicles, but on its own. Bit of another situation. So what's the alternative idea? Going to get another Exalted Sorcerer. A Practicus Covenant, so some jump troops. More vehicles, more aircraft. Also heavy bolter pillar. Should the flying vehicles of the vanilla Chaos Forces decide to come in. Silver Spire being worked on. The cultists, also the heretics, attempting to rebuild the Hell Talon, but the Rhino just won't be giving them the time of day for it. And a cheeky missile. Oh, if that one hit, that would have been a different story entirely. Now got some stealthy cultists, so stealthy cultists on both sides. Rhino, just to put a little bit of pressure on. But I don't think there is really much you can do at this point. I mean, what is it? 80 and 50 compared to 104 and 36. But for reasons beyond my ken, you're not acquiring any green money. Is that because you're repairing things? Ah, yes, it's because you are repairing the Hell Blade. At least that's probably why the number was 0 for a little bit. Doesn't mean it's 0, it just means that when you're repairing things, your economy goes down a little bit. The number doesn't normally change. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding things, as per usual. Well, the Practicus Covenant is determined to kill the heavy bolter turret, and they do manage to get it. So that has given the Thousand Suns a little bit more maneuverability for their vehicles. Practicus Covenants are coming in thick and fast now. Rhino does a backflip, as is good and proper. Hell Talon comes in with very low health, will go down, potentially. Yes, there we go. The cavalcade of scrap metal. But the Defilers... I don't know, you can fire a piece of artillery in the air, but traditionally that is not what you're meant to be able to do. But Defilers defiling the traditional ways of warfare. Now got 3 Defilers on the board. The Chaos Sorcerer standing firm. All these plasma pistols on the Practicus Covenant. He's not heavy infantry, he's commander. Commander armor indeed. So not really suffering too much from the excessive amount of plasma pistols. And the Exalted Sorcerer massively overextending himself. But there are more... I mean, yeah, okay, so they're rebuilding their listing posts over here, but they have lost this, and also the decap happening there as well. So not bad. A massive defilers. The crabs move forward. And what is it they've gone for? So no upgrades for you. One's gone heavy bolter, and the other one's got nothing else special neither, so... I suppose that makes sense. Lost Practicus Covens, getting close. Burn them with fire. But more Hellblades, keeping the air supremacy on the go for them. I mean, Hell Talons and Hellblades that function in the same kind of thing, really. I think the Thousand Sons probably would win the straight at 1v1. But not bad options for either side. Going to build up another heavy bottle turret around here. Not sure what you're defending, to be honest. But hey ho, that's the way it goes. Chosen a little bit swifter than the Rubik Marine counterparts. Seems quite a melee orientated Thousand Sons build, which is very unusual, especially when there's basically just defilers on the field at the moment. There seems to be a potential base trade going on. This side is being defended by... Oh, you're not being defended by Hellblades anymore. He's going to start to commit as much as he can to the right-hand side. Got Defiler coming in for defensive reasons. If they can finish it from the machine pit, which they should be able to, in theory. We shall see. I don't think it's going to work, no. The amount of damage coming in from the melee, supported by the Hellblades, that goes down. No more Defilers for you. And it's going to take quite a while for these guys to walk back home if they want to start defending their own bits and bobs around here. The cultists getting a decap on the relic. Hellblade goes down. There's not much for these guys to really break through. They do have the Chaos Sorcerer for defensive purposes, scaring away that Practicus Coven, but will that be the same case for the Chosen? Don't think that they mind some close combat. And to be fair, the Chaos Sorcerer isn't a huge deal in close combat. Not like the Exalted Sorcerer of the Thousand Sons. It's all gone peaked on. The Defilers are making a conga line back home. Another plasma generator has gone down. And the horror squads of Dantist are ready to see if they can throw their pink warp fire at the Hellblades. This great stronghold has been brought down to a negligible amount of health. Well, a negligible amount of damage done, so it's still quite healthy. Colt's been absolute brave lads. Been sliced and diced by the Ferrum Infernus Dreadnought. I mean, the funny thing is that they didn't even need to tie the Dreadnought up. They could have just left the Hell Talon to do its business, because it can't fire upwards. It's got no ranged weapons. Maybe they're trying to free up some squad cap there. Chosen Ones attempting to slice down the horrors at the moment. And the vanilla Chaos Forces using their turrets as best as they can, but it's a bit of a... Don't get me wrong, like, I get why he's doing it, but turrets do tend to just be a bit of a money sink, really. I mean, the fact there's no Chaos Temple at the moment for heavier infantry is probably to Dantist's detriment. He's got a mighty fine combination of vehicles going on. If those could be supported by, I don't know, some Havocs, maybe even Reptors just to keep on top of the Practicus Covens, that'd certainly be a mighty fine thing. But it's going to go for Horrors instead as its infantry base. Infernus Dreadnought smacking up the Horrors. The Hellblades are going down one at a time. It is going to repair itself. Repair itself? Question mark? Is that what you do? Foul warp magics? Oh wait, it's dead now, so it's not my problem. And another assault, another heavy bolter turret. Good thing about the Defilers though is that their artillery can be fired from quite a distance away. So they don't necessarily need to walk all the way back home to do anything. The Infernus Dreadnought being scared away by the horrors. I suppose that's one of the advantages of having, of playing Vanilla Chaos, is that they do have quite a robust and diverse unit roster. Whereas the Thousand Sons maybe slightly more specialised towards slow infantry. And I mean, I suppose we're not really seeing the slow infantry, are we? We're seeing the swift melee, but not quite strong enough to be able to punch a hole through all these buildings down here. And the fact that they've got no anti-vehicle stuff to really take down the Defilers. If one Defiler died, they would not be able to rebuild it because they've got no machine pit. So any kind of dead vehicle from Dante's point of view is going to be a major blow to his unit composition. Now activating some Nurgle stuff from the cultists, which is definitely not what Zinch vibes with at all. Coven keeping on top of the horrors. But that's okay. Current economy is 66 and 72 compared to 93 and 38. So even though the forces of Southern Chaos have been beaten to a bloody pulp on multiple occasions, their economy is rather strong. I mean, yeah, there's been no upgrades really on the Silver Spires with the exception of this one. Whereas, because Dantes has had to upgrade all his listing posts for defensive reasons, has also helped him overall economically. Icon Bearer of Nurgle has knocked back the Practicus Covens with the help of the Defilers. There we are, he's able to find a general buff to anyone he's attached to. Obviously also allows the cultists to activate some Nurgle worship, which generally helps the health regen, reduce damage input, some Nurgle related thing that helps with resilience, I would imagine. Hellblade's now moving in tandem on the southern side, but now some tricky things being summoned forth. Of course, more horrors. They are demons, so they will resist the Hellblade's damage, but there is still so many Hellblades. You have a couple of cheeky blue horrors though, still able to throw a little bit of damage, not nearly as much as their pink counterparts, but still not really what you want to be absorbing. And they will just stand there for a little while until death finds them, or they just don't fancy being there anymore. And I think what the Thousand Sons have done is you know, pretty decent. They've came in, they've done what damage that they can, but keeping that pressure going. Ah yes, that the Nurgle worship does indeed heal things, so wonderful choice from Dantes to keep all his vehicles in good stead. I do believe that doesn't really reduce the income, like repairing things in a normal manner. Yes, Mr. Blue Dude being hyper aggressive, not really looking after his economy as much as he probably should have. There is still time. There is still opportunity. He's now getting those economic upgrades. Are you now? Yeah, you are now on economic parity with the Chaos Forces on the southern side. And just plenty of horror squads. That's his plan. We're now going around this side. I don't know, so Dantes obviously wants to do some counter-attacking to make sure that the Thousand Sons don't get that economic parity that we talked about earlier on, but with slow fighting force, surely he'd want to keep near his base, but maybe by throwing as much aggression on one side as humanly possible, that will force the Thousand Sons to react. And all these Hellblades. Oh, right. No, I see. The Sacrificial Circle allows him to deep strike horrors everywhere, so if he does go for the counter-assault with the Hellblades, he can just bring forth as many of the pink dudes as he wants to. A perfect defense while his boys continue the assault, but they will come back. They've seen the Ferrum Infernus Dreadnought. Now also got a Warp Smith for repairing reasons. And there's just a bit of argy-bargy everywhere. Practicus Covens, I don't think they've got the necessary damage to really take down the horrors in an efficient manner. Chosen Squad, I mean, yeah, if you're going to go for a massive melee, you do need that fire support to make it work, really. Otherwise, every time you engage someone in close combat, they just kind of walk away, and everything else can just fire at you while that walking away process is ongoing. There's the problem with melee-oriented unit compositions. And one of the best advantages of, say, like a Practicus Coven is that every one of their models, if I can get my words out, has a plasma pistol, which is ideal if you're going up against heavy infantry, but there's just none. Dantis has said, you know what, no, none of that. I want cultists, demons, and the foulest engines of the warp that the Chaos Gods can provide. So maybe not the best unit composition from Mr. Blue Dude. Gonna regain his Exalted Sorcerer, who will still have the Demonic Book of Summoning. Unlike Ahriman the Exile, when the Exalted Sorcerer dies, he doesn't get to re-choose his spellbook. Once he's chosen, that's it for the entire game. And I don't know if random Pokemon bullshit will help him here by throwing things up into combat, just because, I mean, I don't think any of the demons really do anything against the Defilers. I could be wrong, but the Demonic Summoning Book, wonderful early game, but doesn't tend to scale all that well in the later game when the armies get a bit more substantial. That's just a beautiful use of the Nurgle upgrade there. You don't often see it from Chaos players, but on a rare occasion, I mean, look at this, just 3 Defilers, healthy as you like. Still the original ones that were out before the Machine Pit got killed. And it must be very frustrating for the powers of Zinch to be kerfuffled by the resilience of Nurgle. Well, I suppose Dantis is using a bit of Zinch in there. He's got his horrors. That's a thing. You know what? I don't normally rate these heavy bolts that's been put up randomly, but I mean, it must have worked. Must have done something, because Dantis is in quite a powerful position at the moment. Chosen falling down. And Mr. Blue Dude is saying GG. I don't know if it's necessary to say GG at that point. You had a fair bit of money to spend, young man. A fair bit of money indeed, but I wonder if he was thinking about being able to break through these Defilers when they're being constantly healed up to full from those cultists. Yeah, no, I mean, every time he tried to assault on other sides, those horrors were always there ready to break them down, but a fantastic opening from him, being able to come down and put a lot of pressure on there. If he was able to maybe do some more economic damage in the early game, and if it wasn't the fact that he lost the majority of his Rubik Marines in this little engagement here with all those listing posts and the turret going down on them, that might have been a whole different game altogether. But no, Dantis squeezing out the victory there just by being stubborn and refusing to die. Nice one. So cheers to Mr. Blue Dude for sending that game into the Discord. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. My name's Mr. Landshark. Punch is always never short. Now see you in a bit. Peace.